Good morning. Um, so in my morning meditation, I was feeling into this incongruence that I have. Um, yeah, I don't think it's necessary to go into the detail of it, but something that I've been aware of something that I say, um, but then when it turns out to be one side of the options of this thing, that I am actually have a problem with it. And I know that's very cloak and dagger, but I I was like, what's the reason that I don't feel so at peace when that side of the equation um, manifests? And it became clear to me in this meditation that it's because there's still this aspect of needing outside validation. And I have been working on this tirelessly, y'all. Like, it's so many places. And like the sneakiest little fucking places. And, and, um, yeah, man, we're complicated beings sometimes. And so this was a new face of it. And it was, um, yeah, so when there's these two options of this thing, this mysterious thing, the one option feels like reward and the other option feels like not, even though what I have been putting out there is that either is fine. And clearly on some level in my being, it is not. And so, what I realized was when the reward happens, awesome. And I get, if I'm being honest, a little high from it. And then the other thing I realized is triggering this worthiness thing. And it's like this, I think that I'm okay either way, and if I'm rewarded, then I am worthy, and if I am not, then I am like, I thought I was worthy, I guess I'm wrong. And um and I was like, wow, that's clearly something to look at. So long story long. In my meditation, I was feeling into this, and I asked my higher self to please show me this part or parts of me that are still seeking this validation and this at least this flavor of it. And I was shown this younger version of me. It felt like maybe about 8, maybe 6, somewhere around there. Where the example that was shown to me was like where I had done this thing, like drawn a picture or something. And while the it was validated, like, oh honey, that's great, oh, that's nice, there was, even as a sensitive child, I could feel the difference between placating and just, the customary answer, oh, that's nice. Great, let me go on with my adult duties. And like truly like, oh my God, that's awesome. You are so talented. Like, look what you created, like whatever it was that child part of myself needed. And what I realized was that is the exact nuance of this other thing, because I am not being rewarded, and yet I'm being congratulated at the same time. And it's that incongruency that triggered this thing. And what it is that this little child felt like, oh, I was so excited to share this thing, and I'm so proud of myself, and your reaction is underwhelming. And I must have been wrong in how magical this thing was that I created. And what I got to eventually is, if you're all still with me as I babble through this, is that it wasn't me at all. And it kind of seems obvious, but when you internalize those things, and I'm sure it happened many, many times, and it probably to most children, that it wasn't my fault, that the person who could not fully be present and fully giving of support and the type of validation that kids need, couldn't do it because she didn't have it either. And so I actually asked her higher self to come in. I'm door dashing, in case you weren't aware. I can wait. So that I asked her higher self to come in and help me get some perspective on where she was coming from to help the child to heal and integrate this wound. And what I saw was that it was somewhere along the line, it was weak for them to need to receive any kind of accolades like that. Like, you shouldn't need that. You need to be strong on your own. Like, that's a waste of time. I'm not just gonna sit around and pat you on the head all the time. Like it was just like that kind of vibe. I'm exaggerating it a little bit, but kind of like that. And so this higher self of this other person came in and just touched the chest of my child self and was just like, can you feel your own love for yourself? That's actually choking me up right now. Can you actually feel the pride for yourself? Like, can you actually realize how powerful and amazing and creative and full of heart that you are? And in that moment, I mean, it broke something open, some other wall in my heart that I've had. And I just cried and cried and cried. And that little child of mine became this strong inner child that always appears to me in different things. She's just super confident and hilarious, and maybe I'll share more about her later, but so she became that, and they like melded. And then what was even better was then that inner child, that confident inner child, turned around and did the same thing to the inner child of the person whose higher self I called in. And it was just, and they like skated, mine on roller skates, hers on ice skates, off into the sunset together holding hands. It was just this really beautiful inner process. And I just share this because I think so many of us are looking, who are on this kind of journey, are looking for these, big T traumas. And for a lot of us, there aren't any of those. But there are these little things, seemingly little, they're actually very impactful when you're a child, that we carry forward. I mean, I'm 50 years old, it's been 40 something years that I've been carrying these things in the background, keeping me safe. So I'm just curious, like, if there's any of you out there that have gone through similar feelings where you have realized that you're counting on some sort of outside validation, and then it absolutely affects you whether you want it to or not. And if that's happening, are you actually allowing it in to see where that leads you, or are you creating a story around it that it's that person's fault, as I did, that they're triggering me? So I just am curious if it's possible to look more inward today at those things that might have been triggering you. All right. I love you so much. And here's to your inner child growth and development and integration. So this is a just a little bit of an amendment to the last video. I realized that I didn't address more deeply the topic of seeking outside validation. The point of it is that when we need something outside of ourselves and our own sovereign divine nature, that is where we start to adapt to trying to people please, to try to fit in where in a way that other people need us to be to approve of us. And so the whole point of the last video and the process that I had, one of many with my inner child, is that it's finding in yourself the power, the love, the worthiness, which was the big thing for me in that specific one, just the right to be you, exactly who you are, without needing anyone else to approve of it. Because the thing is that they've got their own stuff going on. And if you're seeking their approval, you're seeking the approval of all of their patterns, all of their masks, all of their trauma. And how does that actually help you? How does that help them? So part of being authentic and vulnerable is to really stand in your own power, in your own worthiness, without needing someone else to give it to you. That was the whole point. So I hope that lands on some level. All right. Love you so, so, so much. I love you so much.